Welcome back, guys. Thanks for watching Aeolus Defense. Today, we're in the beautiful mountains of New Mexico. It's a little bit windy. The wind's blowing about 12 miles an hour. The purpose of this video today is to talk about unconventional shooting positions. So when we think of a long-range precision rifle, whether it's military applications, hunting applications, or, possibly without rule of law or SHTF situations, we always think of the bolt gun shooter being in prone, shooting off of a bipod. Well, rarely do you ever get a chance to be in prone and shoot off of a bipod. I'm gonna say actually almost never, especially whenever you're in the mountains. So today we're in the mountains. The elevation's 8,500 feet. The terrain is absolutely very steep, cactuses, rocks everywhere. And so what I wanna do is I wanna show you some unconventional shooting positions, give you some things to think about and things to be able to practice before your next big hunt, okay? Or before whatever situation you think you might need to use a rifle in a precision shot. All right, guys, the rifle that I'm using today, there's lots of different options for rifles. It's, do what you want to do. Do not go buy something new to shoot stuff like this. This is just a practice with, and mainly because I have a ton of ammo for it. So what I did was I have a Surgeon Scalpel. It was the Surgeon CSR concealable sniper rifle, 16.5-inch barrel. I took the Accuracy International AI-AX chassis off because it was just so heavy, and those AI-AX chassis hurt my thumb. So I put a Manners EH1 stock on here. And so we got a 16.5-inch, I believe it's an MTU barrel. I've got a CGS Hyperion K can. So far, this can has been amazing. A Night Force ATACR 4-16 with a Trimmer 3 reticle. I have an angle cosine indicator on here. I have the hog saddle sling so that you can shoot in different positions. And I've got just a normal Harris bipod. So what I want to do today is we're going to fire some shots. The idea of this is not so you can see hits on the target. The idea of this is so that you can think about how to better position yourself in an unconventional shooting position, meaning not off of a bench or not off of prone, in real world conditions. This is a great example of an unconventional shooting position. We have a target of opportunity, be it a deer, an elk, whatever, on this hill 400 meters away. And right here, we're in a position where there's no possible way to get prone because you notice we're coming off the side of a mountain. So what we've done is we've set the shooter up to where he has a pad that he can set on. He's got the tripod, he's got the sling braced on the tripod, and he's got a very stable position here where he can sit there for a while and not make any mistakes and be able to make a very good shot. All right, so when you look at him from the front right here, you'll also notice that there's quite a bit of brush in front of him. There's nothing impeding the shot, but there's quite a bit of brush. Doesn't provide any cover, but it provides great concealment. He's also in the shadows. If you notice from here in multicam, you can use any kind of camo or just neutral colors, but because he's in the shadows, it makes him very difficult to see. And all that's barely peeking up past what you can see from that hillside is just barely the top of his face. So because the sun's glaring just a little bit on his face, he may need some kind of covering on his face, but for the purposes of this, you understand that this foliage in front of him, this fallen down tree, conceals him very well, makes him very difficult to be able to see, and especially when you can only see the top of him. Spotter ready? Stand by. Fire. All right, guys, in this unconventional shooting position, you can find yourself where you're coming up maybe on a big game animal, target of opportunity, and you needed to get on it very fast, but you also needed to have some cover. So I want you to take a look right front of the shooter, and he's shooting through. Now he has made sure to clear, he has a clear lane of fire. When you're on that other hillside 400 yards away, now you're having to look through 3 pieces of cover to see just a little bit of piece of him possibly. Now, one thing that's important whenever you're shooting off of trees, they work very well, but we want to see 3 points of contact. So we have actually 4 here, 1 on the bipod. Make sure nothing touches the barrel or the suppressor. We have 1 on the bipod, 1 right here as a brace in the center. We have it on his shoulder, and then he has his other elbow down on the tree as well. This is a very stable shooting position. Now, another option from this is notice how his legs are spread out. When your legs are spread out and crouched over, you're leaning on the tree, so all the pressure isn't on your legs. You can actually stay in this position and be very steady for quite a while. Shooter ready, stand by, fire. All right, guys, so in this position, what I want you to notice is that the shooter's spread out and the shooter is comfortable. He can be here if he's glassing, looking for an elk, looking for a deer, target of opportunity, whatever it is. He's actually very concealed, if you will notice. Right here, he's got 3 points of cover before he hits this ridge line. He's got 2 points of cover before he hits this ridge line, and he's got several points of cover before he hits this ridge line. Being tucked down into the shadows behind this tree right here, this fallen over tree, provides a brace for him, provides a spot for him to hide very well in his neutral camouflage. And I want you to also know that, go ahead and get on the gun. Notice how he's using his elbow to get his 3 points of contact. So he's got contact here, and he's got bracing on his elbow with the tripod. So the tripod doesn't have to be just used for you to be able to shoot off of. It can be used for you to be able to lean off of as well. So in this position, it actually makes it very easy. Shooter, are you ready? Stand by, fire. Very good shot, able to make a several 100-meter shot from this position. It's not quite as stable as a bench, but very close. All right, guys, this is a perfect example of what not to do. Shooter found a great rock, a good spot to set up against on his tripod, and he thinks that because he's next to a bush and he's in a clear opening, so he has a wide view, that he's in a good spot to be able to shoot. The problem is all of your target of opportunities, big game, small game, whatever it is that you may face, they can see you very well, especially whenever the sun is shining on you like it is right now. The shooter's face, the shooter's optics will glare very, very brightly. And so while this seems like a great spot, he has silhouetted himself and made it wide open for everybody and every animal to be able to see him very well. So what we don't ever want to do is get in a position that's easiest to get into just because it's comfortable for us, because we may miss the shot of a lifetime over here for convenience. So that's one thing we always want to do. We always want to make sure that we put cover in between us, as many levels as possible, so that we are in a great position where we cannot be seen, but we can see. So that's something that you always need to think out. So long range shooting, precision shooting is a thinking man's game, or woman. You got to think. Think about everything you do. Think about your position, think about your dope, think about the wind. There's a lot of things to sit down, calm down, and think about. That can also help you with if you have buck fever. So you see the biggest deer you see or biggest elk of your life over there. If you'll quit focusing on that being the biggest animal of your life and you start focusing on getting a good shooting position, making sure I have cover so that animal can't see me, focus on your breathing, your box breathing, in for 4 seconds, pause for 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds, pause for 4 seconds. Your heart rate will come down. You will be focused on getting the job done and not focused on, oh my gosh, that's the biggest animal I've ever seen, and you miss it because you had buck fever, right? All right, guys, from this position, once again, an unconventional shooting position, you may not be able to find yourself where you can get a tree branch or tree stump or rock set in front of you. So what we try to do, we try to make sure is that in this position, we're setting with our tripod and our sling, and this is a very solid position. You can shoot very well to about 600 meters like this if you practice a lot. If you don't practice a lot, you can shoot very well to 300 meters. And so what we've done is we've set the shooter up to where he's very well braced, but he's standing up. Now I want you to notice a couple of things. One, he's in the shadows, okay? Very difficult to see him in the shadows, even though right here, it seems wide open. If you'll come back and look right here in front of me, you'll notice that there are 4 points of cover in between the shooter and the target. So in the shade, behind the trees, in neutral colors, he's almost impossible to see on that side of the hill, which is this is a great shooting position. If it's possible, the lower you can get and the more stable you can get, the better. But if you have to, you can do tripods just like this. All right, guys, so I hope this video taught you some things. We're working on putting together some classes for you. Just stay tuned. We're trying to put the logistics together for you on that. But this gives you a view that not everything is out of the prone, not everything is off of a bench. It's not that easy to shoot in some of these unconventional positions, and it's never comfortable. It always sucks a little bit. Also, you're never stable. That's one of the biggest things that anybody that comes out and shoots with me, they think, I can never get the perfect hold on this target. I never get perfectly still. That's right, in an unconventional shooting position, you're trying to get 3 points of contacts on the gun, but it can be very difficult. So you got to learn to time your shots. Anyway, guys, so I hope you liked this. If you want to see more of precision rifle shooting, let me know in the comments below. But do me a big favor right now, subscribe, share this with the world. They need to see it. We need more people here. I appreciate you very much. Stay tuned for next time.